Hola, buenas tardes, bienvenido a la Ciudad de Mexico. Welcome back to Mexico City. Today is Wednesday, September the 19th, 2018, and I am on Paseo de Reforma, which is a massive long road that goes all the way from Chapultepec through Sevilla, Insurgentes, Juarez, up to Balderas. Aren't I great with the Mexico City subway station names? Fantastic. So, I'm going to be honest with you. Originally I was planning on doing a video in Santa Fe today. Yes, the long-awaited video from Santa Fe, but I'm exhausted, okay? I think I might still be recovering from El Grito at the weekend. And on the subject of that, thank you for the awesome comments, and I hope you had a great weekend as well. So I thought it would be more relevant today and more appropriate to do a video on the subject of September the 19th, which is an important date in terms of Mexico City. So last year, 2017, a massive earthquake hit Mexico City, caused damage to properties, residential buildings, resulted in fatalities, injuries, that kind of thing. And it was the second earthquake to hit this city in recent times. So the previous one was in 1985. And I wanted to talk a bit about that today, as well as walking around this area a bit more than I did in the previous video I did here. You know, particularly my views as a foreigner, that kind of thing. You know, many of you have told me so much information, which is fantastic, about what happened on that day, that kind of thing. So I'm going to give my thoughts on it. And one final thought before we get going. Have you noticed I've got a new jacket? What do you think about it? I love it. Let me know in the comments what you think. It's a nice sunny day in Mexico City today, as you can see, for the first time in probably about a week. So I'm really pleased about that. And I'm heading down to El Ángel de la Independencia. I've been practicing that all morning, but I still get it wrong. I promise you one day I will get it right. So it's about 1:15, approaching that time. And basically there's an earthquake drill around this time, I believe. And last year when it happened, there was an earthquake drill on this day, and the actual earthquake then happened just 2 hours afterwards. So people, I imagine, would have thought that, you know, it's just part of the drill or another drill. So scary stuff. So we're going to go down there, check out the Ángel, Angel of Independence, by the way. It doesn't take a genius. Okay, you can hear behind me, it's about 1:15, 1:16, earthquake alarm. So, drill. So I guess it's similar to a fire drill, because, you know, you've got a lot of offices around here, obviously. Everyone, all the workers are out on the street. It's all very organised, so from what I assume is that, you know, the people holding up the little signs, that's, I guess, for the companies that are in these offices to, I guess, get all the people together, which would be the case if it was an actual earthquake. So yeah, it's very organised. And the buildings that I'm outside, they're like all banks, so City, Banamex, Bancoma, banks like that. And they're continuing to come out, stand in groups, and I guess wait for instruction for when they can go back inside again. Okay, as you can see, I'm now in the middle of the road. El Ángel de la Independencia is behind me. Great view. And I've got to say, this whole situation, from my point of view, is a credit to Mexico City, because I used to work for a company back in the UK where we used to have regular fire drills. I know fire, earthquake, not the same thing. But, you know, in that case, the organisation was disastrous. And just seeing this is immense. Everyone is, you know, well behaved. They understand the situation. There's people with megaphones, you know, giving instruction, that kind of thing. People are sensibly lined up, waiting for the instruction in terms of returning to their buildings, that sort of thing. So very impressive, I've got to say. It's what a thing to experience. Absolutely amazing. So the earthquake drill is done. I'm now heading over to take a closer look at El Ángel de la Independencia. It doesn't get any better, does it? I'm on this roundabout, which is horrific. Okay, I'm going to cross. Just watch out if you are here, because there is nowhere to cross. I'm possibly going to get hit by an Audi right now. I made it. I was talking to a subscriber last night, Easy, hi man, who was telling me all about when the earthquake happened. The people of Mexico City really pulled together and organised everything, rescue efforts, things like that, before the army got here, which, you know, and I can't help but compare things to the UK. And to be honest, with the exception of things like terrorist attacks and, you know, 7/7, things like that, where absolutely people pulled together and did what they had to do to help people, basically, I honestly wouldn't think that that would be the natural reaction in the UK. Apologies to any British people, but it's just my opinion. And you know, personally, I think I would be like that. You know, I think I would go out of my way to do whatever I had to do, regardless of the risk or danger. I think we all have to think like that. But you know, this is just an example of one of the great things about Mexican people, I think. And it's, you know, a credit to them, the fact that this was so organised today. And yeah, it's just awesome. You know, I've never experienced an earthquake, and honestly, I hope I never do. But they really make you think, these kind of events, because if I mentioned 7/7, so on the day of that, I was in London. I was actually meant to have a job interview in central London that day, but it just so happened that morning I decided that I didn't want to go to the job interview. Therefore, I wasn't on a tube train that day. So, you know, it makes you think what could have happened, depending on the decisions you make. Back there, behind me, is a bit like an exhibition kind of artwork sort of thing. Photos of the day last year. Let's go and have a look. You know what, looking at these photos, it's difficult not to get choked up, and to be honest, I had to give myself a minute, because just looking at the pictures, it was only a year ago. I can't get my words out, sorry. It was only a year ago, so it's just unimaginable. And it's strange to think that it was only a year ago. And, you know, there's one up there showing damage in Abrera, which is literally 2 minutes from where I'm staying. It's very close to Doc Torres. And it's, you know, it's clear that the earthquake also affected surrounding areas in Puebla, places like that. And the thing about this, sorry to go on about it, but I think it's really important to talk about the amount of photos of civilians helping with rescue efforts, things like that. It really hits you there, because it's unimaginable, as I keep saying, in terms of what the people must have experienced at the time. And it was only a year ago. Yeah, I'm going to stop now before I get any more emotional. But take a look at this when you're here, because it really is an eye-opener. Right, I'm literally gonna burst into tears any moment now. Not just because of what I've just looked at, but the guys behind me. I love classical music. That guy's playing an oboe. I used to play the clarinet for 6 years, and it's something that I've been thinking about taking up again. I would love to get an oboe. There's people in the way now. Let's move over there so you can see them. Yeah, I love it. I could stand there all day watching these guys. When, by the way, just when you see people like performing like this and you want to film them, take photos, make sure you give them some money, because, you know, they're doing a great job. Estoy muy cansado, mucho calor. Yes, walking around Mexico City, muy difícil. It's very difficult. I'm very hot and I'm very tired. So I'm going to go home now. I've had an interesting afternoon. I've learned a lot of things. It's put it into perspective, I guess. Once again, it's another example of that spirit that I described in the El Grito video. You know, that collective feeling of that everyone will help each other in this awesome city. It's time to get the subway now. I'm holding my jeans up because they keep falling down. Maybe I need to eat more tacos. That might be a good idea. And before I get home, I just want to say a big thank you to my awesome Patreons for continuing to make these videos possible. So thank you Cynthia, Kieran, Tim, Ian, Hadir and George and Shirley. If you would like to become a patron, don't forget to check out the link in the description below, and it will tell you all about what you got to do and what kind of rewards you get if you become a patron. Thank you very much. Now I'm going to tell you something shocking. I'm leaving Mexico City. What? Don't panic, I'll be back in like 10 days. I'm going to Guadalajara on Saturday, potentially Guanajuato, and then I'm back in CDMX for a couple of days before going to Puebla for about 4 days. After that, I'll be back. So stay tuned for those videos. Thank you for watching as always, and I'll catch you later.